Good evening, welcome to another Nights at Fringe. We're joined by another Fringe artist ready to talk all things about their show. But before they do that, they're going to do a quick 10-second sell. So Essie, whenever you're ready, your camera's there to sell your show.
It's a dark and surreal performance art show exploring all acts of worship. There's burlesque, circus, drag and music, but it's not a normal cabaret show.
We're expecting a bit absurd, a bit dark.
Yes.
What sort of elements are you bringing in that are dark?
Well, looking at different aspects of worship, that can get very dark. So a lot of ritual possession, sacrifice. Aesthetically, it's a bit gothy, macabre, and music as well is a bit darker. So all of that together, it can be quite challenging.
What's your story around creating this show?
So it actually came from an act that I did in Miss Burlesque 2016. It was looking at sort of worshipping at your own altar, being your own god. And it was, I had a very crazy mask and really distorted the body. And it was received so well that I was like, I could really flesh this out, curate all my favourite Perth artists that are dark and a little bit off centre, and actually make a show, which I did, and it's amazing.
Who have you got jumping in with you for this?
So we've got Owen DeMarchi, who is a singer. He's in the Chlorines, which is a local band. We've got Geneva from Gender Mess Productions. We've got Smokey LeBear. We've got Darla Harland and Matthew Pope. And then we've got supporting cast as well called the Acolytes, who are local performers too.
Acolytes.
Yeah.
How do you go combining all of those acts? They're all big in their own right. How do you go in terms of gelling?
So it's a lot of work. I sit there like moving all the acts around. We don't have a host, so no one breaks up the show. It just sort of flows into one another. It just depends on the energy and the music, and I like there to be a bit of an arc, a drop, and then another arc. But we have like a range of reactions from the show as well, like people have cried, you know.
What are people crying at?
Some acts just really resonate. There's one act by Darla Harland, which just like she strips herself bare, like literally, and it's really, we've had people coming up crying and hugging her afterwards.
So in terms of you being in the show, what are we expecting from you? What are you bringing?
So I have two acts. One of them looks at, it's like a ritual sort of worship act, and then sort of the consequences of having certain enlightenment, and another one is looking at sort of judgment, so what you've worshipped throughout your life and how that might affect you. So they're both very sort of fantasy ones. We have other ones that are quite referencing the modern day sort of ritual as well, so it's a nice variety.
Really looking forward to the show. You've brought a little bit of a guest artist here. You've spoken about the people that you've gathered together. Who have you brought for us today?
So we have Smokey LeBear here, and she's going to be performing just a bit of her candle ritual act, and it's looking at the weight that's put on gods or people of worship, and just that sort of overbearing weight and expectations, and it's a beautiful endurance piece, so she's going to do a little snippet.
Essie, thank you so much for joining us here at Nights of Fringe. Look, you can catch Worship, the Gilded Edition. The 29th of January is its first show, and it's Fridays and Saturdays across the Fringe series. Essie, thank you so much for joining us here at Nights of Fringe.
Oh, thanks for having me.